Afternoon, Cameraman Wes.
What's up?
Oh man, oh man.
You guys like the new sign? We're on air.
We are on air. I hope that looks good on camera. On air, on camera. Oh man. Yeah, doing pretty good out here, man. Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lit up a Monte Cristo. This is the Monte.
Monty.
This is actually
The full Monty?
it's well. It's kind of a different cigar. It has a double binder. So the binder is like a double. What is it?
But
I was sitting-
I bet it's on your pad of paper.
If I
over
was
there.
sitting over at that table, I could tell you exactly what it was. No, it's got the Ecuadorian Habano wrapper,
Yeah.
but then the binder is a combination. It's a double binder of Dominican and Nicaraguan Corojo binder. So it gives it that spice you're going to get out of that. And then it has just a mixture of Dominican long fillers in it.
Yeah.
So obviously it leans more towards the Dominican, but with that double binder, it adds enough spice to it. So if you like a spicy cigar, this has quite a bit of spice to it.
Nice.
But it kind of finishes almost with a chocolatey kind of finish.
Okay.
So not too sweet though, and nothing heavy,
Yep.
but the finish is more of a chocolatey kind of finish.
Not sweet like the cigars I like.
Not like the one I just smelled that got lit up over there on the other side of the room. But it has enough spice in there for me, but it, like I said, it has a little bit of sweetness. And with it being chocolate, I decided to go with black cherry
Nice.
soda.
Cherry cordial.
Kind of, well, I don't know about that, but I was thinking, chocolate covered cherries.
Getting in the festive mood already.
I think. So yeah, and it's a Monte Cristo, so it's going to be a good cigar.
Yeah.
Not super expensive. Now this is a smaller cigar here. I really don't remember how much, but I know you can get these. I don't think you're going to spend more than $10 for a stick.
Okay.
A stick here might be $8 or something, so it's not
Yeah, it's not bad.
not bad at all. I actually started to smoke a different one, but I just got them, and I've only had them in my humidor for a couple days now.
Yeah.
3 days, and it's just when they've traveled a long distance,
Right.
I just because that's the one thing with cigars, if you're buying them online or whatever, even if you're buying them from a brick and mortar, you don't know when they received it.
Right.
But your package, by the time it ships from where they're being made at to where the warehouse is at, then to when to whoever's buying it that you're buying it from, to you and everything else, these things are out of a humidor for a long time.
Right.
So obviously they're a higher humidity. You know what I mean? They keep them in a higher humidity, so they're going to be a far more moist cigar when you first receive it. There's times where I can put new cigars in a humidor and watch the humidity level go up
Yeah.
before the Boveda packs or whatever will finally kind of get everything under
Right.
control. So I decided not to, but I bought economical cigars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I bought an Alec Bradley one and one of the other ones, but it's where you can buy a bundle of 25 for one of them. I think it was Blackbird. I think I got a bundle of 25 for like $40. So I'm talking about a $2 cigar.
Yeah.
The Alec Bradley's like a $3 cigar, so very, very cheap. To me, those are perfect, especially in the wintertime. If you're outside by a fire, you can start smoking a cigar. I don't mind puffing on half a cigar and tossing it
Yeah.
if I spend $2 or $3 for it.
Right.
If I'm spending 15, 20 for it, even 10 for it, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So and I almost lit one of those up just to see, because those are all short fillers, or what people call Cuban sandwiches. It's all the same good tobacco that you had in your long fillers.
Right.
Like this is made all of long fillers. But as they trim it down to fit this cigar, you have all those leftovers there.
Yeah.
So then they cut those up and they put those in your short. Those are. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Do you know how they became Cuban sandwiches? What that nickname? Those were the cigars that the cigar rollers, the people that rolled cigars, those were the ones they were allowed to take home to smoke.
Okay.
And so all your rollers back in the day, when they got done that at the end of that day, they would take all their cutoffs that they had left, they would roll them up into their own cigars, and they were able to bring those home. So, and then they got the nickname Cuban Sandwich. And
I mean, I would assume because cigars really got their start in Cuba. So
yeah, but so that's why when people are like, "Oh, that's short fillers, that's no good," it's like it's the same exact tobacco. Is it going to burn as good? Probably not.
Right.
Are you going to have the complex flavor notes that you see the transition and you see how it does all that crap? No.
No.
But as far as flavor goes, they're fantastic. They're good, cheap cigars. If you're working out in the yard, sometimes I like to smoke one when I'm riding a lawnmower or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to smoke a $20 cigar when I'm cutting grass, or raking the yard or whatever. And you never know. We've had all these hurricanes coming up. We got the threat of dock workers going on strike, everything else. But you know what? I better stock up on some cigars. If I have to buy a couple bundles of cheap cigars, so be it. Well, I know this. I'd rather smoke a short filler cigar than not have any cigars to smoke.
Than not
Period.
smoke at all.
Exactly.
Because we're not smoking cigarettes here.
No. So that's starting to come in really good now. For new people, I don't like a cigar until I get about the first half-inch in. And then it finally starts, the flavor to me comes in really good. And then I usually like it all the way down to about that last third. And then just depends on the cigar.
Yeah.
A more expensive cigar, I can sometimes smoke them all the way down to where they're burning my fingers. Other ones, by the time you get to that last third, they're already getting so hot and the smoke tastes so hot coming through the cigar that I don't even like them after that.
Yeah.
So, what you got going on?
Well, I actually, as most of you guys that listen or watch know, I'm a big Drew Estates fan. So I actually have a Fat Bottom Betty. It has been in the humidor for probably 2 months now. I think about 2 months. And this is the first time, I've never tried the Fat Bottom Betty. My favorite of the Deadwood line is the Girl with No Name.
Okay.
So that one to me just has the most complete flavor notes and all that all around. This one's been really nice though, and this one I guess is one of would be on the higher, stronger end for the Deadwoods.
Gotcha.
It is Nicaraguan origin and a Maduro wrapper. I obviously picked the wrong site to look up the details. So,
you're probably on Cigars International.
I am. Normally they come up with more. Usually Thompson's is the first one that comes up for me, but apparently it wasn't today.
Yeah, I like. And that's something we learned. I always thought a lot of those Deadwoods I thought were infused.
Right.
And then to find out, no, they're not infused at all.
Yeah.
That's just literally the sweeter tobaccos that they use to.
I know, the Girl with No Name, that's one of the techniques that has gotten, where they actually let get out, because a lot of the Drew Estates techniques are trade secret. So, that's why they have such a different line, I guess. So one of the things that I know they do is instead of truly infusing it with the flavor, they will actually, while the tobacco is curing, hanging, they'll actually blow the scent that they're wanting. With the fans, they'll blow that scent onto the leaves so that it soaks into the leaves naturally.
Gotcha.
So how they do that, I don't know. But I know Like the Girl with No Name, that's how that one gets its flavor.
Okay. Yeah, I always thought they were infused. No,
Right.
Then I found out no, they are not infused at all. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask, your beard is looking fantastic.
It is?
It is. Mine is just getting old and scraggly. I have run out of my Chuck's Hogwash.
Uh-oh.
And so I do not have the Chuck Hogwash anymore. I've got to get some more because it's driving me crazy. Now that I've gotten used to it,
Yeah.
I don't like going without.
Yep. You guys got to check out Badass Beard Care. Veteran-owned company. They make everything in America, and their product is top-notch. And now, this should be the first one. Yeah. This is the first podcast to air since we have worked a deal with them. And now, if you look in the bio for this podcast, it'll have a link, and you can actually help support us. So when you use the link that's in the description, you'll use the code word Steel Horse when you check out. You'll get 10% off of your purchase, and we actually get a commission off of your purchase.
Nice.
So it's a 2-for-1 deal there. You guys get to save money, and we get to get a little bit more money back from it. So it's something that we've been able to work out with Badass Beard Care. They really liked what we were doing, and I thought that was pretty cool.
I think it's very cool. So yeah, if I'm going to be buying it anyway, you know what I mean?
Right.
I've got to buy a beard care anyway. So why not get it from an American-made product from veterans that are willing to give us a 10% discount and then give us a commission off of it?
Right.
Oh my God, it's a no-brainer for me.
Right.
But again, now to get it to where the full benefit, you have to use a certain link. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the link will be in the description for this podcast episode, and you'll find it anywhere on our Facebook page, Steel Horse Thunder on Facebook and YouTube. But yeah, the link is in the description. Just go in there, you'll see it, and you click on that link. When you find the stuff that you're wanting to buy, go to the checkout screen, and it'll show, if you have a discount code or whatever. Just put Steel Horse in the discount code box, and it'll give you the 10% off your purchase.
Very nice.
And the kickback to us.
Sweet. Very good.
Yeah.
I made a comment about, the strike getting ready to go on and everything else. From what I understand, they postponed the strike now because of the hurricanes and stuff.
Yeah.
But
That was nice.
sure it was. Sure it was. Very nice. But because of that, that literally is because of everything that's taken place.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, listen, I don't think none of us have forgotten what took place in 2020.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like certain significant things,
Mm-hmm.
like 9/11. To me, 9/11 was the last big date that everybody remembers. Everybody remembers 9/11. You know where you were at. Before that, for me, it was when the space shuttle burn up on re-entry.
Right.
You have these major things that are dividing points or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter whether you agree or disagree with what took place during 2020. I think the vast majority of people now disagree now that all the truth has come out. all the conspiracy theorists kind of got proven right as the years have gone over. It's like a lot of things that were being said, it actually was true.
Mm-hmm.
So, but regardless, we saw what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think that we wouldn't let it happen again, but you never know. So because of that, I've always been very conscious about making sure I have extra food on hand, making sure I have extra. You know me. When 2020 hit, everybody else was out buying eggs and milk and this and that. I was buying Busch Light in the 30 packs.
Busch Light and cigars.
It's like, boys, I can grow food. I can hunt. I can get my food.
Uh-huh.
What I won't be able to do is get my beer and get my cigars. So I got my cigars and I got my beers. And You know, I just rotate the stock. Am I a
Right.
big Busch Light fan? No, I am not. But guess what? I'd rather drink a Busch Light than not be able to drink a beer at all. And it turns out Busch Light, as long as it's ice cold, it's not bad.
Not too bad.
It's not that bad. It really isn't. So what do you do? I mean, like right now, I strongly recommend to everybody, make sure you have extra. Now listen, we don't all have solar panels to where, you know, if we lose our power, we can just keep our refrigerator stocked and this and that and everything works just fine. Most of us live in houses where we have a refrigerator and a freezer in our house.
Yeah.
We may have a freezer out in the garage or a refrigerator, a beer fridge. But, you know, you may be limited space as far as a pantry that you can actually stock up with food. But for me, I've made sure I keep a lot more canned goods than I ever used to.
Right.
I do have a lot of stuff frozen. But again, if
the power goes out
for
right.
any length of time, you know, for the most part, I'm going to be screwed.
Yeah.
I don't have generators yet. That's my next thing is I want a generator. But let's face it, after a while, you're going to have electricity, or you're going to have gasoline to keep that generator going, or you need to invest in solar panels to keep a generator going. But for the majority of us, there's only so much you can stock up on.
Right.
We have a 3-bedroom home with just 2 people living in it. So we do have an extra bedroom that we can actually use to stock up on certain things. Make sure you're completely stocked up on paper towels, toilet paper.
Right. We saw what happened in 2020.
If everybody learned anything in 2020, again, regardless how you feel about it,
Yeah.
everybody knew you better keep some toilet
Better
paper
have
on
some
hand.
toilet paper.
You know, and I was not one of those that would go and buy a whole cartload of toilet paper, but I did make it a point whenever I went to the grocery store, I usually grabbed a pack,
Right.
along with my groceries and everything else. And when there's only 2 people there, you do that for a couple months, you're going to stock up pretty quick on toilet paper. I still got some. The ones that I don't, the stuff I don't prefer to use,
Still in your stockpile.
still in that stockpile in that back bedroom, you know, and it's like, just in case, I want to
Right.
make sure I keep it, but I don't want to have to use it if I don't have to.
Yeah, one
So
day
what
it
is-
might be a trading commodity. So.
Exactly. So, what is your go-to? What is your thing? You know what? If we're going to be out and we can't get to the stores for, you know, they shut things down for another month or shut things down for a couple months and we can't get anywhere. What are your? This is what I make sure I keep at my house. And if you don't have it now, you're like, when I get a chance, this is
Right.
what I'm stocking up on.
Generally, like 2020 was weird because everybody had, you know, it was a very bad year for a lot of people. I just changed jobs, doubled my salary. My wife changed jobs. She moved up in a company. We both worked at the same place, and when I left, she was able to move up in the salary. So we ended up doubling combined our yearly salaries. So we didn't, for some reason, we didn't really think about stocking up a whole lot, I guess. I don't know. It was always in the back of my mind, but I was like, oh, this is just going to be a couple months. We'll be fine. And it turned out to be more than a couple months. So we did, you know, we got some extra canned goods. You know, the town we live in doesn't have the best water, so we buy water to have at the house to use.
Yeah, I've heard stories.
But again, water is a hard way because if you don't have it in the right container, it's not going to stay fresh very long. So, I mean, luckily we do buy ours in the gallons. You know, there's 6 gallons in a container of it. I figure as long as it's sealed, that water is going to last quite a while because it was put in there clean, the container was clean, all that. I mean, it's still plastic, not the best thing to have your water in, but the water is going to stay decent in there longer than filling up a 52 quart cooler or something like that. It's not going to stay fresh in there very long.
Exactly.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, the canned goods. Beanie Weenies are gonna suck after eating them every day for a while, but at least you got something to be able to eat.
I saw somebody, they were talking about homesteading and stuff, which a lot of people looked into after 2020 because we realized how quickly everything can be taken. But I remember people talking about crops you need to grow.
Yeah.
If you can only grow, 7 crops, if you can only grow 4 things, 5, whatever. And, it's always, you always have your potatoes.
Right.
Because that's going to be a lot of your, you definitely want that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they'll show, the potatoes, tomatoes, and then it just depends on where you're at, whether it's green beans, whether it's peas, whether it's, different stuff.
But those are the easy ones.
But somebody put on there, and they said they put down peppers. They had peppers in there.
Yeah.
And they said, I know. Everybody's like, why if you can only grow so many, why would you grow these? He said, because you got to remember, you're living on this.
Yeah.
Do you know how quick potatoes and beans and broccoli, do you have any idea how quick that's going to get so old so fast? He said, you're going to hope and pray that you grow something. He said, I'm not saying take up a lot of space, but you may want to grow some peppers, at least some peppers, just to give some extra flavor to your food.
Right.
Because,
because if you run out of salt and pepper and then you're just eating all that just regular, no seasoning. Yeah. I would not have thought of that.
So I thought that was kind of interesting.
And you figure most pepper plants generally produce quite a few peppers.
Yeah.
If you have a good green thumb and stuff, I mean, one pepper plant can grow probably 30 to 50 peppers on it.
Depends on what you're growing. If you go bell peppers, you're probably only going to get 8 to 10 on a plant. If you're growing stuff like Tabasco peppers, or if you're growing, like me, I grow a lot of hot peppers.
Yeah.
My ghost pepper plant, I overwinter it every year. It's 4 years old. I'll get 300-400 peppers off of that thing in the course of a year. So, it's just depending on what you're growing. If you're growing the bigger peppers, like the big banana peppers, big bell peppers, or even the big jalapenos. Yeah. You're only going to get a dozen or so.
Okay.
Maybe 20 on a plant. But even though, those peppers are big, so they're going to go a long way.
Yeah.
So what is it you're like, you know what, I want to make sure I have this on hand?
Definitely toilet paper. I would love to have one of the solar generators. And now they're coming down in cost a lot more now too. When they first came out with those, they were super expensive. And now you can get them for a decent price where you could run a freezer or a refrigerator, be able to charge your phone, stuff like that. Although I guess power grid goes down, it doesn't matter if you have a phone or not. So, but if you can keep meat in your freezer frozen, that extends your lifetime by quite a bit. So I'm not sure other than that. I mean, I'd love to have guns and ammo too, just in case, but
I was kind of staying away from that end of it. The same thing, I was staying away from. Yes, you definitely want ammunition, you definitely want a rifle.
I mean, mainly for hunting purposes, but
definitely, but you need it for hunting, but also for protection, because let's face it, if anarchy happens, and the way things are going, if it doesn't happen, I'll be shocked at some point in time. But still, you're going to have to hunt, but also you're going to have to protect what's yours as well.
Right.
But, I was just thinking certain items. What items do I want to have? Like I said, I made it a point. I stocked up on cheap beer.
Right.
Because I could buy 30 packs of it, and I could just stack them up in the garage, you know what I mean? And then beer lasts forever. You'd be amazed how long beer. I had some Guinness Black.
Yeah.
Nobody liked it. I had a case of it, 2 years I had that case, and I'm talking it got hot in the summer and it got
Right.
almost frozen in the winter time, and so it went back from hot and cold. 2 years, that stuff still tasted exactly the same when I opened it. Now those were in glass bottles.
Okay.
I don't know about aluminum cans, how
Right.
long it'll last in an aluminum can, but like I said, that was one of the first things I did. Was I stocked up on my beer and I stocked up on cigars and bought the cheaper cigars so I could fill up my
Right.
humidor. The other thing I always talk about is alcohol, and people are like, well, why would you worry about alcohol when you're talking about life or death?
Right.
A lot of people forget that alcohol was used for medicine since the beginning of time. That when people started making alcohol, it was always considered, if you look at it in the Bible, I mean, biblically, it was used for medicine, it was used for celebrations, it was used to, the water into wine at the wedding. I mean, that was the whole purpose, is if you didn't get trashed at a wedding reception, you were going to be ousted,
Right.
the people were going to run you out of town. And, but it is for medical purposes as well. There is a lot of stuff a lot of herbs and stuff that grow naturally, like here in Indiana. You can get the mullein, you can get all the stuff, it grows naturally right here. And you get that, a lot of that, the way it works is by soaking it in alcohol.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not a big, clear alcohol. Sometimes when I'm smoking a cigar, I'll sit here and drink some whiskey with it. You know what I mean? I'll drink some bourbon with it, even some scotch with it. But when it comes to clear alcohol, tequila maybe. I do enjoy a tequila shot.
Yeah.
But as far as just, clear rum,
Vodka.
gin, vodka, that kind of stuff, I'm not a big fan of it, but yet that stuff works perfect.
Oh yeah, it works
for
really
medical
good.
purposes.
Yeah, medicinally.
Yes. Medicinally, that's the word, huh?
Yeah.
Not medical purposes.
Same thing.
But that's one of the other things is alcohol, and people don't ever think about that.
Right.
So there's that.
Yeah. I'd probably make sure I go and buy some, like vitamin C. You can get it big jars or bottles, whatever. Vitamin C. Yeah, you wouldn't go crazy on getting a bunch of vitamins in that situation, but if you had main ones like vitamin C, vitamin D, those are your big ones. That way, when it starts getting cold, people start getting sick, you're able to take that and maybe not get as sick. Because at that point, you're not going to have a hospital to go to.
Right.
So.
No, and that is something that I did in 2020. I did make it a point to buy just little things like that. Tylenol.
Right.
I made sure I had, multiple bottles of Tylenol. That stuff called Airborne?
Yeah.
You take it, you drop the little thing in there, and they got sued because it didn't cure the common cold. They never, ever, ever said it could cure the common cold. They simply said it builds your immune system to help you prevent you from getting the common cold. Nowhere on the packaging did it ever say it cures it, even though that's what they got sued for.
Right.
Didn't say it anywhere, but they still got sued. They still had to pay up the fine, and they had to make sure they put on the box, even though it never said it would cure the common cold, that it does not cure the common cold.
Right.
God, could you imagine if they lied to us like that? Never mind. But I did make it a point.
We already did that podcast.
Yeah, I did make it a point to get Tylenols. I bought a bunch of those. Even if it's everybody has their own make now. Equate or whatever Walmart is, the Equate.
Yeah.
They have their own version. It's all the same. But I did. I stocked up on a bunch of that. I stocked up on a lot of the chewable type of vitamins, like the vitamin C's, and you can get a bottle of 500 of them.
Right.
A couple bottles of those. It's like, And again, I didn't want to buy too much because then I didn't want to sit around for 4 or 5 years where it wasn't any good anymore. So
yeah.
But those are the things that a lot of people, they just don't even think about. You know, I'm very big on the immune system, keeping your immune system strong and healthy. It'll prevent you from getting sick. Once you get sick, then you have to fight it.
Yep.
But if you do it, if you do a good, keep your immune system good and healthy and strong, eat yogurt, get those probiotics inside your body, it keeps you from getting sick. I'm not big on the using all the sanitizer stuff.
Right.
So my body is constantly getting the germs, and which is good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're handling certain things, yeah, you might want to use some hand sanitizer or something after that.
Yeah.
But on a 15-minute basis, no. You're doing more harm than good when you're overusing sanitizer.
So yeah, I'm just always big on, you know, get yourself healthy and then stay healthy. And if as long as you stay healthy, you know, it's a lot harder for you to get sick if you stay healthy. Now we all have problems, we all have issues. I've had surgeries, I've had, you know, I'm not saying I've never been sick before.
Right.
In
fact, this has been my year of sickness.
you
I've
kind
been
of
sick a lot this year.
But again, that's kind of what happens when you get sick, because then it's very hard to get your body back to full strength to where then it can start fighting off infections and all that stuff on its own the way it's designed. So yeah, so that was just some of my few things that I always said, you know, I want to make sure.
Right.
Now again, I always have plenty of paper towels and plenty of toilet paper. I always have that now, because that stuff lasts forever. I can stock that up in the back bedroom, and I can, you know what I mean? I can go to Sam's Club. I can go to Sam's Club and buy just, you know, big giant packs of paper towels.
Right.
And go and buy a few of those each time I go down there, and I can have a whole wall. Yeah, it's great insulation. Put them on your outside wall.
Yeah.
That's a whole other layer of insulation between the outside to the inside. I don't have that much of it, but
yeah,
you could actually do that.
And we're just talking about this because, you know, it's been hurricanes galore out there, and
poor people
we've
in
had
North
all
Carolina,
kinds of tornadoes, flooding in North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee. I mean, those towns are just gone.
Yeah.
There's nothing left of them. They're literally just gone. Like, it's crazy. It's sad to see all the footage that's coming out. Because now it's starting to slowly trickle out now that people are finally getting a way to communicate and all that. It's just crazy.
And again, certain things, it doesn't matter how much you stock up. If you go through a flood, I know what a flood's like. I've been through a flood before. Flood is the worst. The absolute worst. I've been through hurricanes when I lived on the East Coast. I've been through, obviously, tornadoes here in the Midwest. Gone through all that. We even have the fault line down here. We've even felt a few little minor earthquakes and stuff. I've dealt with blizzards. All that stuff you can kind of, you know, when you have wind damage and you have that kind of stuff, you can kind of get through it. When you have a flood, everything changes.
Yeah.
Everything changes. When they tell me they can tell this is so old because of the formations on it, and it takes this long to make this formation.
Yeah.
I was like, you've never been in the flood before. Because where I live, we had a massive flood in '08.
Yeah.
And the landscape looks drastically different. Overnight.
Yeah.
Just overnight. It was like, I had no idea that was rock. I had no idea that hill that I thought was all dirt and all that. It was like, I had no idea that was nothing but rock underneath there.
Yeah.
And in the instant, within 8 hours, everything changed completely.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, without that flood, that probably would have taken 1,000 years to get to that point. 8 hours later, bam, it was there. You know what I mean? And when a flood happens, it's disgusting. It's the disease that you find because animals that are washed away in it, or in this case, human beings and everything else, like what happened with Katrina.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the disease that comes along with all that. It's just absolutely horrible. And obviously, it doesn't matter if you had your whole house stocked with everything you need. Well, it's all ruined now.
Yeah.
It's all gone. But that is why we're talking about all this, because there's a lot of people that are facing those kind of problems. And even if you are on high enough ground, say in North Carolina, some of these places that have been flooded out so bad, say you were on higher ground, so you technically did not get flooded.
Right.
You have nowhere to go.
No.
You can't get out. You can't go get help. There's nothing you can
your
do.
hillside may have went down with it.
You just
because it's so much rain.
Yeah.
They've had so many mudslides and landslides. It's crazy.
And that's where it is. If you were stocked up, at least you have something. And there may be people that can get to you that can't get out. You know what I mean? To where you can at least help some people. It's and it's a tricky thing. I understand that. You know, people want to gripe about FEMA, rightfully so.
Right.
But I also know they have rules that they have to go by, and they're and I know, just like here in the Midwest, when we have blizzards in the winter, the reason they put out a travel advisory or shut them down and say, I forget what it's called when you're not allowed to travel at all, emergency only or whatever.
I don't remember.
But a lot of times the reason they do that is because they can clean the roads faster and they can take care of the roads faster if everybody's not on the roads. Because once you get on the road, now you're in the accident. Now you're another person. They have to spend time trying to rescue you instead of helping what needs to be done already. So I do understand there is a logic in that.
Yeah.
We don't want everybody coming down here handing stuff out, because then if you get in a bad shape, now we got to worry about you when we're already trying to take care of these people. So I do understand that, but I also understand when people have been there for days and nobody's done anything.
Yeah.
And they're saying, no, you're not allowed in. No, you can't do it. I mean, my God, it wasn't that long ago. We watched what they did in Hawaii.
Right.
And we saw what they did to the poor people in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's got to be a balance somewhere.
Right. Well, especially when there's people that have helicopters that can go in and help get people out of those areas. And then they're told they can't do that. It's like, but if you don't have the manpower right now to do it, why not just let them help and get these people out to a better place?
Right.
Like, I guess just because this country's so happy that you have to say no, I guess.
How's your cigar?
It's really good. It is much stronger than the other Deadwoods.
Yeah.
I can definitely. I mean, I don't know if that's a stronger nicotine, or if it's just the wrappers are stronger, but there's definitely something different about it. But I like it. It's got a lot of good flavor to it. I didn't even look up what the flavor notes for this one was.
I like, that's a Maduro, and I do prefer Maduro. I smoke more Maduro cigars than anything else. I'm one of those weird people. The whole reason we were talking about everything was let's get back to cigars.
Yeah.
The whole reason we brought all that up. We're not griping about anybody. Again, I'm not sitting here bad mouthing FEMA. I don't say I trust them either, but I'm just saying I'm not bad mouthing them.
They're just doing what they're told to do.
They're doing what they're told they have to do. When we had the flood here, I actually had to sign paperwork.
Yeah.
Because I refused help from FEMA. I didn't want them to have anything to do with it. I said, I will fix everything myself. I will take care of it. There was no insurance claims. There was nothing. Me and my boys, we all got in here and we got it. Everything fixed that needed to be fixed. But yeah, that's why we're talking about, we need to learn to be prepared. Everybody be prepared. Make sure you have extra stuff on hand. Make sure you it's just called common sense. And because when we have something fresh like this, where we're seeing such tragedies and such massive devastation.
Yeah.
Keep people in prayer and make sure, it's just a good reminder for all of us that weren't affected by it, to say, you know what, I do need to make sure I have this on hand. I stocked up back in 2020, and now 4 years later I've kind of dwindled down, and now I kind of need to build it back up again. All right. So yeah, to get back with cigars, now, let's get back to happy thoughts and.
Happy joy.
I am kind of a weird guy because a lot of people like that real strong cigar at the end of the day. The last cigar, people that smoke multiple cigars during the day, that big strong one after a big meal, and oh yeah, now give me that big, Dunbarton has that meat lover cigar, and then they have that the Bull Moose, which is like supposed to be right after you've had a big steak, a potato dinner, then you sit down and smoke that cigar to end the night. If I'm smoking a cigar like what you're smoking right there, get a good strong Maduro, I'm smoking that this time of day right here.
Yeah.
That's when I smoke it. By the time I'm done, and you're calling it a nightcap, dude, I'm looking for something like this Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
You got a Monte Cristo over there that is it's
the white series.
Yeah. They're just a mellower cigar. That's kind of what I like. There's a new one. It's called Xena or something that I tried.
Wasn't that a beer a while ago?
It's a fantastic.
Zima.
It's a fantastic cigar. Super mellow, super mild. You would absolutely love it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm smoking at the end of the day. At late at night, I should say. But have you ever smoked more than one in one day?
I don't think so.
I will on occasion. I'll go days without smoking any.
Yeah.
But then there are some times, especially on the weekend, where I may get a cigar and light it up early in the afternoon or something, an early afternoon cigar, and then by the time you cook dinner and all that, and it's 7 o'clock in the evening, 8 o'clock, I may light up another one. But again, that's usually a more mellow cigar. I usually won't smoke a heavier one. But there are times, we did a Schnocktoberfest.
Yeah.
We all smoked cigars when we were doing our contests and all that. And then later on that evening, I decided I did want another cigar. And that's what I did. I grabbed one of those, what did I smoke? It's another really, really mild, a Macanudo. The Macanudo Cafe.
Yeah.
Super, super good cigar. Very mild, very easy to smoke, very enjoyable. That's a cigar if you're just starting to get into cigars. That'd be the first cigar I'd probably recommend. The Macanudo Cafe. Comes in a bazillion different sizes.
Right.
But it is so light and so mild, but yet it still has fantastic flavor.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
I think I've smoked, I don't remember what Macanudo it was. I did smoke one Macanudo, and they're very smooth. They don't have that harsh, bitter bite to them. Yeah, those ones are pretty good.
No, the finish on it, super clean. It doesn't linger. It's just a super clean finish. So it's not one of those where you feel like you got a hunk of tar in your mouth. And,
right.
Yeah, that's a fantastic beginner cigar. But again, I've been smoking for a long time. I enjoy very heavy cigars.
Yeah.
And yet still love a cigar like that on occasion. So
generally, if I get a heavy cigar, it definitely has to be flavored. I can't. The old world non-flavored heavy cigars are a little too much for me.
That Ava Marie you got sitting there. You smoked one of those yet?
No, yet. I still haven't.
It's a lot of cigar. I'm just saying. They're fantastic. I absolutely love them.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of cigar. When you sit down and smoke that, again, that's not one I'd smoke on a empty stomach.
Yeah. I did that once.
Yeah.
I think I was Ava Maria that time too.
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure it was. If I remember right, I'm pretty sure it was the just their normal one. I can't remember what. It didn't have a name. Like, this is the Argentum. If I remember right, it was just the band. There wasn't another name for it. It was just Ava Maria. So I'm pretty sure it's just their Ava Maria, whatever the heck the name is. But
it's probably Ava.
It's probably Ava Maria.
Here in Indiana, it's Ava.
Ava Maria.
Ava Maria, you better get your butt in here right now. Dinner ready. Hey, Ava Maria, over there on the other side of the table. What you smoking, girl?
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Speak up now.
Good stuff over here.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure by the smell in here, it's a groovy blue.
The good stuff.
If you ever wonder, can you really tell the difference between an infused cigar? Yes, you can.
Yes.
And I have never, ever, ever heard anybody complain. People will complain about the smell of this cigar burning.
Right.
They'll complain about the smell of that cigar
Right.
burning.
And it's a flavored cigar.
And nobody will ever complain about a groovy blue.
Right.
When that thing lights up,
God, it smells amazing.
everybody's eyes light up and they're like, "Oh, that's delicious! Now I want blueberry muffins." That is exactly how that goes. Nobody ever gets upset when you light one of those up. It's like, "Oh dear Lord, I smell that."
Right. Yeah, I might, after my procedure to fix all my nasal passages and stuff, I'll probably try the Argentum.
I like
After
it.
it heals.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But it's a strong cigar.
I say I love the diesel, and that's probably the strongest cigar that I was like, I could actually smoke it. It's not overbearing, but I know it's not light either.
No, I just smoked one last night.
Oh yeah,
I sure did. That's exactly what I
yeah.
smoked last
The
night.
diesel's pretty nice. Was it Whiskey Road?
Is that the Whiskey
Yeah,
Road?
Whiskey Road.
That's exactly what I smoked last night. Was the Whiskey Road, diesel Whiskey Road. The tobacco was aged in the whiskey barrels. It's a good cigar.
Yeah.
It's a very good cigar. And that is what I smoked. I've got this cigar right here, man. This is the Guy Fieri Knuckle Sandwich. That's the Maduro. I've had his Connecticut wrapper, which is really good. I've had that one for probably 6 months now. I think I got it early spring.
Huh.
And now we're into fall. So I would have to say it's probably close to 6 months old now.
Yeah.
It's one of those where I've been waiting for that right time.
Right.
And again, it's not a super expensive cigar, but it's expensive enough. I paid full price for that.
Oh yeah.
Like these, this Monte Cristo here, it's a pretty expensive cigar.
Yes.
But I get the discount price on a lot of those. So I
did a
I
5-pack, didn't you?
Yeah. So when I'm getting them for $5 a stick, it's a little different. When I pay full price for a cigar, it's like, oh, dear Lord, I just dropped a $20 bill.
I was gonna say that was probably about $20, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's $22. I think is what I paid for it, something like that. But it was right around $20 range.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's one of those where it's like, I don't know, I'm waiting. Again, that's another one that's supposed to be after you've had a good meal.
Right.
My problem is I hardly ever eat. You'd never guess it, but I hardly ever eat a meal. It's usually a sandwich in the evening, or it's breakfast is usually my biggest meal, and I'm just not that guy.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people love a cigar with their coffee in the morning and stuff, and
I haven't done it yet. I would probably like it because most of my cigars are coffee flavored. So I probably would like it, but it's just the fact of lighting a cigar first thing in the morning just doesn't seem right to me.
I've just never had a desire. I think we talked about this once before. When it comes for a cigar, for me, generally between 2 and 5 p.m.
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when it's like, you know what, I'm ready to stop working. I'm ready to go home, and I'm ready to. That's when I really, if I ever crave a cigar, it's usually between 2 and 5.
Yeah.
And then, even 6 and 7 still, but in all honesty, if it's 8 o'clock at night, and I'm just now able to finally light up a cigar, by then the mood has kind of passed.
Yeah.
And again, I get up early, nothing like you, but I still get up early, so I go to bed fairly early. So at 8 o'clock, it's like, well, I'm 2 hours away from going to bed. If I light up a cigar, I smoke cigars slow.
Yeah.
Most cigars, regular size cigars, are going to last me close to 2 hours. It's a good hour and a half. When they say 60 to 90 minutes, for me, it's more like 90 to 120 minutes. I don't smoke that fast.
Yeah.
And So for me, if it's already 8 o'clock, it's like, dear God, it'll be damn near 10 o'clock before I'm ready to go to bed. And then it's just, so a lot of times I just won't.
Yeah.
Boy, that's sweet time from between 2 and 5 on a weekend. Nothing tastes better than a good cigar in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah.
Especially if you're sitting outside this time of year and the temperature's in the mid 70s, and you're sitting outside, the humidity is gone. It's a mild temperature. Even if you're sitting in the sun, you know, you can sit in the sun and just feel the sun on your skin, and then smoke a good cigar with a good, whether it's a cream soda or a root beer or something like that. For me, during that time of day, that's what I'm going to be drinking. I am one of those weirdos. I do wait till 5 o'clock somewhere before I finally go to the beer. On occasion, we've drank some beers in here doing it.
I forgot to say what I was drinking.
What did you pair yours with?
Cream soda with bamboo rum.
Bamboo rum, dark rum.
Yep. Technically in America it's rum liqueur because they claim that it's not a strong enough proof to be considered rum in the U.S.
Really?
Pretty sure Barbados knows what they're doing. So it's a rum.
Gotcha. Yeah, you know, we're finally getting Steel Horse Thunder Cafe is finally starting to get their cigar lounge stocked up.
Yeah.
The cigars, they've got quite a few cigars stocked up in here now. Now the bar area is finally getting stocked. We're getting some whiskeys, we're getting some bourbons, we're getting some rums. We got the Santos tequila over there, which is a good tequila. It's Guy Fieri and Sammy Hagar. That's their tequila. Now, of course, we have the Santos, which is the cheapest of their line. They've got three lines. We have the cheaper one.
Yeah.
That's the budget we have to work with.
That's right.
And but it works pretty good. Yeah, and I say I'm drinking soda most of the time in the afternoon. If it's a Sunday and it's football season,
well, yeah,
you know what
that's
I mean.
a little different.
Then yes, there's a good chance at 1 o'clock I might be having a beer watching the game.
And then unless the Colts are playing in London, then it's 9 a.m. or.
And let's face it, the Colts aren't that good to get up early to watch anyway. Yeah, it's kind of like good news and bad news. We got Michael Pittman's going to be out now.
Right.
Looks like for several games with an injury, and Richardson's probably coming back. So it's the double whammy.
Right.
We're not going to have Flacco, and we're not going to have Pittman.
Just give it a few snaps.
But so for me, the cigars, you can see this one's split.
Yeah. The last one I smoked at home, it had a little crack in it right up here. I didn't see when I lit it, so I don't know if it split while I was smoking it. I only smoked about half of it because I had to stop fighting it. It was like, this is just ridiculous.
See, and that's the thing, and that's why I do like a decent cigar. Because now this one here, I don't know why this one's split. It's going to happen on occasion,
right?
You know, whether it was just the way this one was wrapped, or whether it was the way. I mean, it's been in the humidor for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So the humidor hasn't changed a whole lot. I have a tendency to take my cigars out and set them down. I usually just set them on the table.
Right.
If I know we're doing this, and we're going to be smoking a cigar when we do the podcast, generally that morning I'll take a cigar out that I'm going to smoke and just let it sit out. I take it out of the cellophane and just let it sit. Sometimes I'll cut the end and everything and just let it sit and let it acclimate.
Okay.
And I find that it helps the burn. It helps preventing stuff like that. I just thought this time of year, there's no humidity. It's not like it's super humid here. I noticed my humidor is a little higher.
Oh yeah.
Now, normally I keep mine down in the low 60s. Right now, I've noticed it has been running towards the upper 60s.
Yeah.
And that could be the reason that right there happened.
Could be, yeah.
One thing I did learn that from the experts, they'll tell you that whether you're keeping it at 62, 63, or whether you're keeping it at 70, neither one of those matters that much. But what happens is if you're keeping it down low like this, and then all of a sudden, overnight or in a couple days, now all of a sudden you went from here to here, that's what they say causes more issues with the cigar. It's the quick change.
Right.
The mellow, the mild changes and the gradual changes they say is fine. It's when it happens quick. That's when you'll start having issues. And so you're better off just leaving it at 70% humidity the whole time, or leaving it at 73% the whole time, whatever. I know some people that keep them down at 50, 58, 59. And in all honesty, there's some cigars, they taste better. You get more, you get more of the flavor. The drier that cigar is, the more flavor you're going to get. And the better draw generally is what you get. So yeah, I'm going to guess mine is probably from the quick change in my... I'm not sure why that... Well, I guess because air conditioner's not running now, and the temperatures are fluctuating now more, where, you know, now in the mornings, you know, it may be down to 70 or 65 degrees. Then by the afternoon, it's back up to 75 degrees, then back down, you know what I mean? So it's, instead of staying that consistent temperature.
I know mine is, I need to get some different Bavetta packs. Mine is humidity staying up at about 72 right now.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they're old Bavetta packs. One of them definitely needs to be soaked.
Have you? I was gonna say, if you grab them, you'll feel them. They'll start to feel like they got little, almost like they got little BBs in there or whatever. And then the longer they dry out, the more it just becomes hard like a brick.
Yeah. One of them is like that. The other one is not.
I soak mine.
Weird.
I've soaked mine in reverse osmosis water and let it sit in a tub for 3 days. And it gets all the way back to being, and then I'll just set it out and I'll just let it sit on the counter on a paper towel or whatever, and let it kind of dry the outside of the package out.
Yeah.
And I throw them back in. That's what I've been doing. I know they'll tell you not to. But
right. But it's been proven that it still works, so.
Yes, the smaller humidor that's out here in the smoke lounge, that's what I'm in the process of doing that right now. And I just take one out, let it soak, you know, for 3 days. Then when it's ready, I throw it in there and grab, because I keep multiple smaller packs inside my humidor, and so I just kind of do that, and then they'll be good for another 6 months. It's not bad. All right, Wes, we are getting into the fall. There is a lot of stuff slows down now. Something that's coming up here in the next couple weeks. So by the time this airs, I don't know if it'll air before the 20th or not.
Yeah.
But I do know Sunday, October 20th, there is going to be a meeting at the Greenwood VFWs. And this is all charity riders. People that put charity rides together are encouraged to come out. Let's talk about how the rides went this year. If you have your date set for next year, talk about it. Let people know. If you're thinking about putting a ride together, it's a great meeting. You can come to this. There's going to be all different patches out there.
Yeah. Charity
riders from all different walks of life. It's really cool. And I'm looking forward to being there for that. Because it's going to help the newcomers. It's going to help them learn how to put a ride together. And it's going to help you from not... What the worst part is when you do a ride and then you find out, oh, well, there's 5 other rides already. Oh, there's 10 other rides that same day. You know, or, oh, well, this is the ride we want to put together. You're already doing it.
Yeah.
Can we just join up with you guys? So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting, because I didn't go to the one in the spring, because I know they had a meeting earlier this year. So yeah, I think that would be pretty cool to see how it all goes, see how many people show up. I know it's gaining a lot of traction on Facebook, so hopefully hopefully they have a really good turnout for it. Yeah,
and they had a decent turnout in the spring, and it was put together pretty quick. But I noticed the rides we went to, I started seeing a lot of the same people at a lot of different rides, and it was like, you know, well, they came out and supported our ride, we wanted to come out and support their ride, and that's what it's all about, man.
Right.
And when you get a bunch of like-minded people wanting to help,
Mm-hmm.
that's just a fantastic thing.
It's not one to stay lit now, is it?
No. She's going now, though. No, I got to where that blowed up, sir.
Yeah.
But I'm about past it now, and then it's going to be fine.
Yeah, no, with the way the show goes, you know, we're looking for more sponsors for the show. Had a few people inquire about it, you know, for next season.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's some other things we can do, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook. There's some other things we can do, like because a lot of people have gotten a hold of me that they personally want to try to help out. It's like, well, sponsorship is really more of a business decision. So for companies, for businesses, but we are in the works of working something out where people can help out financially, whether it's a subscription deal or Patreon or something like that. We are in the works of that, getting that, because I've had at least 10 people ask me how they can help keep the show going and support the show and all that. So this off season, we'll get something rolling on that.
Yeah. Yeah, because come January, obviously January, February, and most of March, it stays pretty quiet.
Right.
This time of year, you're still going to have, we still got rides going on. Indiana, you can pretty much up until Halloween. It's usually decent.
Right.
And then after that, it kind of is very hit or miss. I know the weather's getting ready to change drastically here in another few days.
Yeah.
So we're finally going to start getting some cold temps and all that.
It's 35 for a low.
Yeah. And but you know, even in November, you're going to have the Circle City Toy Run goes on the weekend of Thanksgiving.
Right.
You still have a few rides here and there. You know what I mean? December, you're going to have the crazy ones that actually do theirs in December, that do their ride. You're going to have, you know.
Honestly, though, December's been a lot warmer the last few years than November.
Yeah, right. But I know, like Southside Harley Davidson up in Indianapolis, they have Santa there. That's always a huge thing up there.
Yep.
So we're going to have things to do, you know what I mean, throughout the year. But come January, February, March, we're going to do a lot of look backs.
Yeah.
Where we can look back on different rides and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But for me, this time of year, it's one of those things where you can kind of recharge, you can kind of refocus.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, this meeting, I just think is a fantastic time to do it.
Yeah.
Do it, everything's fresh. You know, even if you did your ride back in June or July, you know what I'm saying? It's still fresh. Where you can get in there and you can talk about it and, you know, discuss this is what went, how it went. All the groups that come out, I think in the spring meeting, they all had like 5 minutes to get up and talk about what they were doing.
Okay.
It'll be kind of that same format again. And again, it's at the VFW Greenwood, the Greenwood VFW riders.
Yeah.
So it's in Greenwood, Indiana. I just think it's a fantastic thing, and I think it's going to help a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to unite a lot of people for the next riding season.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, riding season will slow down drastically after the end of October until April. Really is when it really starts to ramp back up.
Yep.
But
hopefully next year we'll actually have a motorcycle expo to go to.
I hope. It's been hard not having that in February. I know we've still gone out to the Boat Sport and Travel Show because they still have
there's still some stuff
the motorcycle display kind of thing, but it's not the same as having
that whole room,
that whole expo room where you got everybody out there.
Yeah,
it's much smaller, but it's still. I still enjoy it. I still have a good time going out there because I also like other things than just motorcycles.
Right.
I like looking at boats. I like looking at campers. I like looking at all that stuff.
Yeah, I love looking at the campers.
I like looking
I take pictures of the layouts and everything.
Right. I like looking at the different places that are, like the Dirty Dozen, which is down there by Bristol, Tennessee.
Yeah.
we met those people years ago, and it's like I would love to get down there and do some of their rides that they have put together down there, and just, so I like that. I like seeing new destinations, different places to go, and all that kind of stuff is there. I know this past year they still had the pioneers of motorcycling, so they still had some stuff. But yes, it would be awfully nice to have a full blown expo. So what else do you have going for the off season? Now I know we're still going to do our Facebook Lives all winter long.
Oh yeah, we'll have a podcast going all winter, as long as we can get people.
I've been in touch with Rupert.
That's good.
So we're hoping to get his this month, because he does his big thing
In November.
Tuxes and Tennies in November. So I definitely want him on at the end of this month so we can help promote that. Because that's the other thing, I forgot all about that. That's a huge fundraiser.
Yeah, I didn't
that's
realize,
his big fundraiser.
I didn't even know about it till we covered his ride this year. I didn't realize there were multiple Rupert's rides either.
Right.
I just thought there was one. I didn't realize that there's like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, I've actually covered the one up in Lafayette. I think I've covered that one maybe twice.
I went on one of those. I was the camera guy for one of those, and it was rained out. We didn't we didn't film anything.
It rained like crazy.
Yeah.
And
we may have filmed inside the building, but I don't even know if we used that footage.
The overhang.
Okay. It was a while ago.
It was a long time ago. But yeah, I know I've been up there twice, and I think it rained both times I was up there.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. But I know one of them it did rain like crazy. We were able to talk to Rupert a little bit underneath the overhang.
Yeah.
To stay out of the weather, but that was about it. But yeah, it was that one was a pretty rough one.
I can't wait to have him on the podcast. That one might be a long podcast.
He's super fun. Super fun. Yes, that'll be a podcast that's going to be worthy of listening to while you're at work. If you know what I mean. If you get to listen to podcasts while you're working,
right?
Throw that in there and be able to kill 2-3 hours. That could be a Joe Rogan style,
right?
You know what I mean? Like a lot of his go 3 hours long and stuff like that. I think with Rupert, it's very possible it could go like that. He's just a fantastic guy. He is fun. He's funny, but he's just a blast to talk to. He's so animated with what he because he loves and believes in what he's doing so strongly that it's just all about him. You know what I mean? He's just all about that now. I don't think he's a smoker, so I probably won't be able to smoke a cigar when I'm talking to him, but that's all right. I've been in talks with Jenny DeVoe.
Nice.
So, and she is an artist from Indiana. She has shared the stage with, I think, everybody.
Right.
I mean, honestly, Greg Allman got in touch with her and said, "Hey, I'm going to be in Wabash, Indiana. Can you open for me?" When you start having people like that, somebody like Greg Allman's literally calling you saying, "Hey, I need you to open for me," or "I need you to share the stage with me," and I've seen her with some other great artists, man, and I know I saw her with Robert Correa. I've seen her, just with so many bands. But we've had the pleasure of getting to know her over the years, and I know we're talking about, she's already said yes. Now it's just a matter of getting a date that we can set to where we can come in here. And I will definitely not be smoking a cigar when she's with me, because she is not about that at all.
No.
So we've got several guests already that we're already talking with and getting them lined up. I did everything I could for Tab and Moi. I did everything I could. Tab's going to be here, less than a week now. I'll be seeing him in concert. And I'll see him after the show, but we will not be doing a podcast or anything. Just doesn't have time, just can't do it. These guys, when they're on the road, they get there, they have to set everything up, do your sound check.
Right.
You got to get a bite to eat somewhere. Then you're back in there, you're doing the concert. Then afterwards, you're winding down, and then it's it's midnight.
Yeah.
Then you're getting in the bus and it's time to
Going to
head
the
to the
next
very
stop.
next stop, and you're
Yep.
going to be somewhere else. The next morning, you're going to be somewhere else to start setting everything up, and so
Maybe one day.
I get it. Yeah, maybe one day we'll be able to get down there to Whiskey Bayou Records down in Louisiana, and when he has a little bit of time off the road or whatever, you know what I mean? And,
Right.
but yeah, I really thought that was going to happen this time. It's just not.
But
Doug,
they did give you
his-
a lead for another person
Yes.
that we can get a hold of. So
Yes, Doug, his manager, is fantastic. We have communicated back and forth. He has recommended other people for us to contact and everything else. So
yeah,
can't ask for anything better
Right.
than that, man. It's just fantastic. But yeah, we're going to get a few more special guests on here, and that way people don't have to just see us smoking our cigars. This cigar, one thing I'll say about this cigar is it pretty much stays the same
yeah.
throughout the entire cigar. It still tastes the same now as it did when I lit it up earlier.
Huh.
It just has that consistency that just kind of, some people want a cigar that's going to change as you smoke it and everything else.
Yeah.
I want the spice to kind of blend into. Now it's more of a woody. It's more woods and grass and hay. And,
I love watching real cigar people talk about cigars. It's pretty funny. I mean, it's nice because they do know what they're talking about,
right?
but it does come across very funny most of the time.
Yeah. To me, it's not as spicy.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they get spicier as you smoke them. This one, you still get it, the retro hail, you blow it out your nose. Blow it out your nose. You still get a little bit of that spice on there, that
Yeah.
peppery. But it's a pretty good.
I say the
Pretty
Fat
darn good
Bottom
cigar.
Betty definitely each third changed. And I'm one because I know you don't like the first, quarter inch, half inch, or
First half inch.
first half inch. And for me, I'm the opposite. Like that first inch is like the best part of the cigar for me. I don't know why, but again, I do more flavored cigars, and maybe because of it being farther away, you're getting more of the flavor of it instead of the heat from the flame, the ember.
Yeah, because the nicotine and all that's
Right.
keeps building and building and building down here in this
Yeah.
tobacco.
So I'm assuming that's probably what it is, because I do tend to like the first
Yeah.
third better than the second and third.
Third. Yeah, I like like I said, that first half inch I
Yeah.
never like, and then after that it comes in really nice. Rest of that first third, second third that's the meat of the cigar
Yeah.
for me. The last third, it just depends on the cigar.
Right.
There's some they're getting put out when I get to
Yes.
that last third of the cigar. There's a lot of times it's going to the ashtray.
Yeah.
Certain cigars, they just still taste good, even all the way down to the very nub.
Uh-huh.
And when I find those cigars, to me, those are keepers. It's like,
Right.
all right, I will buy another one of these. You know what I mean?
I know 9 times out of 10, if you like the flavored cigars, Tatiana's, they stay all the way to the end. There's only been maybe two different flavors that I've had that it's kind of like in my normal. I get to that third, and it's like, I'd rather just put it down.
Yeah.
But for the most part, all of theirs, you literally need a roach clip because you can get it all the way to the nub.
To me, and that's the tail of a great cigar.
Right.
When I'm like, God, it's burning my finger, but and you set it down, and then you're like, I know that thing's still lit. And then you go, can I pick it back up again without burning my fingers? You know what I mean? And you get
Right.
it, and you puff on it one more time, you set it down, it's like, all right, I'm good. And then you look at it again, it's like, damn, I know it's still lit. I had that, dude, that one that starts with a Z. That's going to be the next cigar I smoke. Z cigar.
Yeah.
It's Z cigars.
Z cigar.
It's magic, zilly delicious. That was one of those.
What'd you put in your soda?
That's just straight black cherry soda. That's all that is. I mean, I put ice in it to church it
Right.
up a little bit, make it look like it was fancy. But yeah, that one that starts with a Z.
Yeah.
I was like, picked it up. Dude, it sat for, I'm talking, I had maybe an inch of cigar.
Yeah.
Less than the, what's from the band to the foot there.
Yeah.
And I was hardly being able to hold it. I set it down in the ashtray. It sat for 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
It stayed lit.
And I went and I touched it and I was like, gosh, it still feels warm. I picked it up, puffed on it 2 or 3 more times before I finally set it down for good and let it go out. When you can get a cigar that just stays lit
right
that long, when you put them down, I have another buddy of mine that he smokes. He likes those Oliva G's. And they're a Cameroon wrapper. So it's got that African Cameroon wrapper on it. Good cigars, box pressed. And but he's the same way. You know, he'll put that down sometimes and then he'll pick it back up 10 minutes later and he's like, man, now that's a good cigar right there. When it stays lit that long and you can pick it back up.
Now I'm wondering.
This one hasn't stayed lit very good at all, so I know it won't do it.
Nope.
And not that Monte Cristo is a bad cigar by any means. It's a good cigar.
Right.
But yeah, every now and then you get those ones that it's just like they're rolled perfect, their humidity is perfect, everything is perfect on them, and they'll just burn forever. And it's just fantastic. But I know we've talked about it. To me, cigars. Okay, I'm not going to get into the health part of it. Right. Obviously, it's smoke.
Yeah.
Any smoke is bad for you. Campfire smoke is bad for you. You know, it just doesn't matter. Smoke is not good to inhale. We don't inhale these. These don't go inside of our lungs or any of that stuff. But obviously,
unless you do it on occasion.
If you're sitting in a room, yes, we have good smoke eaters in here. We have exhaust fans in here.
Right.
But I do know I am breathing in some smoke. So I'm not saying it's healthy for you.
Right.
But for me, it is a sign of relaxation. I'm done. I can stop and I get to just. And again, it takes me a long time to smoke one.
Right.
So I know I've got an hour and a half. That's what I've always said about mowing the lawn. That's kind of why I like to smoke one when I'm cutting grass.
Yeah.
I'm on the lawnmower for about an hour and a half. And I'm sitting there just tooling around. And I've always said it's my favorite thing in the world to do is hop on the ride and mower and cut grass for an hour and a half because I don't have to listen to the phone. Nobody's calling me. I'm not getting text messages. I am, but the phone's not with me. I leave the phone, and I get an hour and a half away from everything else.
Right.
And it's just awesome. You know, for me, alone time, if I can smoke a cigar and talk to God in the peace and quiet, and again, if you got a lawnmower going, it's loud, so you don't hear anything else. It's just, you know. To me, that's the wonderful thing about a cigar.
Right.
And if it brings that much relaxation to your life, it's
got to outweigh the bad.
Right? That's the way I see it.
Right.
The good's got to outweigh the bad.
Yeah.
That's my theory anyway. All right, so we're going to have Halloween coming up here before too long. I know we usually all get together and do a Halloween thing, and I've already bought some candy. I'm going to actually give it to you because I don't eat candy.
But if it's in the house?
But I found if I have a bag of Snickers, I found that they will get eaten. So, yeah, who knew? Turns out, because I don't really eat chocolate. I don't eat cakes. I don't eat pies. I don't eat any of that stuff, really. I mean, I'll have a couple slices of pie a year.
Right.
A couple pieces of cake a year. Yeah, I've had at least a half a dozen little Snicker bars in the last 2 days. So I will give that to you.
That's funny.
What you gonna be this year for Halloween?
I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it.
You gonna be a little German boy?
I might have to do something with since I'll have the procedure done right before Halloween. So
you have to be like Michael Myers or something. Wear a hockey mask or something.
Right.
That would be cool. Yeah, I don't know. Last year I was Gandalf the Wizard. Did the big wedding out there in Castle out in Illinois earlier in the year and used that costume.
Castle Ridge.
Castle Ridge.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called, Castle Ridge.
That was super fun.
That was a lot of fun.
And then, so yeah, we'll get Gandalf going again here on the shows.
Uh-huh.
We'll get Gandalf doing the Krambo's commercial. Yeah, I don't know what to be for Halloween this year. Excuse me. I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah.
Well, what else you got? Anything? I feel bad. I feel like we didn't get into enough conspiracy theory stuff this time.
Yeah. We got the off season. We can start writing stuff down. We got new conspiracies we can bring up.
All right. Well, if you like Monte Cristo cigars, this was the Monte.
The full Monte.
It had what did we say? It had
Nicaraguan and
well, it had the Dominican Nicaraguan binders.
yes,
A double binder. The Corojo binders.
Yeah.
It had an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper and then Dominican long fillers. It's a medium to medium plus, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a medium plus. This one here, yes, I did have it blowed up, sir, on me, but other than that, even then, though, I smoked right through it and it was no problem. So.
I had the Deadwood Tobacco Fat Bottom Betty, which online it shows it's, when they show the range, it shows it, above medium, but not full bodied.
So again, medium plus.
Probably medium plus. It wasn't like, I've had plenty of ones that say they're medium that were much more harsh than that. So
Gotcha.
definitely a light medium, I guess you'd say. Or I'm just getting used to it, I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I don't remember anything about it other than I think it had Nicaraguan wrapper. Because
It was a Maduro.
my phone brought up the Cigars International and it had nothing there. So.
They do, but you got to read halfway into the
Yeah.
paragraph before you find all the information.
Right.
Like most cigar places, if you go to their website,
Yes.
it'll show immediately.
Right.
Wrapper,
Yeah.
binder, fillers. It
Yeah.
just shows it right there, and then usually this is kind of the flavor notes.
Right. Yeah, normally I go to Thompson's. Theirs is the easiest for me to read.
Yes.
And I don't know why Cigars International came up first. I do like Cigars International. I bought quite a few things from them, but yeah, they could definitely tweak the way they line everything up about their cigars.
All right. Well, I guess we'll get things wrapped up, and since we didn't get any help from the peanut gallery over there, I thought for sure they were going to be chiming in with lots to say, but we say we get out of here,
Yeah.
go make pee-pee, and call it a day.
Yeah. Guys, make sure you check out Badass Beard Care. Like we said, it's a veteran-owned company, American-made products, and frankly, I mean, they have the best products, and we've used a lot of different products, as you can tell by our beards. And yeah, theirs is definitely the best quality products I've ever used. So.
I agree. All right, man. What kind of hat you wearing?
It's a Boston Scally Shamrock Edition.
Do they sponsor this?
No, I wish they would. I've asked them a few times.
All right, we need to get them on board.
I know. They make the best hats.
They do make nice hats.
Right?
I really do like those.
Yeah.
I like their hats a lot. So yeah, we need them on board. All right, man. What do you say? I'm going to light this up one more time and finish it out. And I think it's about time for me to graduate from a black cherry cola to a
To a beer?
beer.
Yeah. All right.
All right, man. See you next time.
Okay.